Women think the relationship is all about them. They do. Everything is centered around what she wants. And if that's fine, in her mind, everything is cool. And she does not care what the man is going through. She don't care what his challenges are or any of those things. So what ends up happening, the male believes that he keeps the marriage together because if he goes to cheat or whatever, like those 41 shades, for different reasons, they left you with the marriage because the marriage was all you wanted. You didn't actually want the man. You wanted the marriage.
The fairy tale.
You wanted the fairy tale. So the man feels that he gave you what you wanted. You wanted the marriage. You wanted the money. You wanted the kids. You wanted all of this crap. And never consider what he's mentally going through. Never considers what he invests into the relationship. A lot of men deal with this. And so what they end up doing is getting things outside of the relationship. And what? The woman is still mad.
Shout out to the content creator. This is definitely an interesting perspective on not all women, but some women's viewpoint on how they look at marriage and stuff. I've definitely noticed this just from like certain conversations around the internet, personal conversations I've had with married women. And not from my personal conversation, not them saying, hey, it's all about me, but they are saying, I want it my way. You know what I'm saying? And across the internet, this is a lot of women, but there are women like her saying, hey, we're conscious to ourselves and basically our nature. And I can appreciate her being honest, being truthful about basically a woman's psyche. And again, I don't want to put this on all women because there are a lot of women. Before I deep dive in that, one thing she said was the man basically, once he figures out this is all the woman wanted was the fairy tale, she wanted the kids, the house, the car, whatever, but she didn't really want him. Once he figures that out, that's when he leaves and she's, the woman's wondering like what happened, right? But she didn't consider, hey, I'm getting all these things, but I'm not looking at what you want from the marriage when it comes to the emotional side, the peace, the women giving back and bringing value and pouring into the man. And it is true. A lot of women are out there who are very selfish. You even see even before you get married, and you hear these conversations all over the internet. This isn't like to bash women because, again, I think there are a lot of women, right, who are conscious of this and who can make those changes. But let everybody else tell it, they dime a dozen. You know what I'm saying? They rare. They're very rare out there. But I think it's still incumbent of the man to vet. And again, he's not going to get a perfect, woman for a relationship or a wife. But I personally think that the woman needs to want the man more and not the other way around. And I just always seen the most healthiest relationships be when the woman is, again, it just is what it is, more in love with the man than he is with her. I just always seen that be the best situations because a man who's mature and a man who is on his purpose, he's living his best version. He knows what he wants. He's not always looking for the baddie. He's not always looking for the dime piece. He's looking for the 6, 7, 8, on a scale, because the ones that consider themselves like 10 out of 10, a man who has everything he needs, he doesn't need the extra upkeep. You follow me? He wants a beautiful woman, obviously, inside and out. And one who, honestly feel like they feel like the man's the catch. You follow me? And those be the best marriages because there's less ego on the woman's side, which actually winds down the man's ego, feeling like he has to do too much. In the sense of like chasing like Jason. And again, like the man, if he really loves and cares about the woman, he gonna pour into her, right? He gonna teach her some things. He gonna show up for her. He's gonna, buy her gifts. He gonna fly her out, take her places. You follow me? He gonna touch on the love languages, whatever is, her love language. He's gonna do all that. But the trick is finding the woman who can accept that, who feels validated by that. You follow me? And like I said, me just look. I ain't even in the dating game. Obviously, I'm married, but when you look at the landscape and you talk to like homeboys or people at work who's single who's still dating, this is firsthand accounts. And all these dudes not in, the worst situation as far as like physically and mentally. They just, average guys, man. They saying, look, bro, we basically got to be Chads and Tyrones out here, or what we have to be in the image of what these women see on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook every day, because it's almost like it's inflated. That's what they want. They don't want the average blue collar or just white collar worker who just go home and go to work, maybe go to the gym, go out a few times. They don't want that. They want the guy who can fly them around the world, take them on a date every night, and just be able to keep them on this fun carousel. You follow me? And just this emotional roller coaster. They want that. So it's not hard to find these women, but man, just I would say for the men out there, again, find a woman who honestly like you better than them. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a good start to a relationship for what I've seen. And but shout out to the content creator. I think this was very wise of her to point this out and kind of open eyes to how women think. And again, not all women, but open the eyes to how a lot of women think. And maybe it is in the nature of things. Who knows, right? Because we as men have our blind spots as well, So, but specifically from what the content creator talking about, men, that, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, don't settle for anything less than just respect, man. And, watch out for the manipulation. So, with that being said, I hope y'all got a lot of value. I think that she spoke on a high level value on how some women think. And I would say, yeah, keep an eye on it. But subscribe and share this video out for anybody who may need to hear this message. With that being said, I appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace.